Hello and good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Telford College and our first ever live webinar. I'm Becky Bosworth, the Employer Engagement Manager. I wanted to take this opportunity to be able to give my team the chance to offer you advice and support, particularly as we go through this uncertain time. Telford College is very much open and we're here to support you. We are busy processing applications and conducting telephone and video interviews ready for apprenticeships and for our full-time study programmes that are started in September. I'm confident that my team will answer any questions today during this webinar, but please remember that you can call us. We are available daily. You can call us, you can call the apprenticeships team, you can call student services over at Telford College, or just email the team and we're there to support you and answer any questions that you have. I would like to just introduce you to three of my colleagues that will be supporting us during the webinar today. So you will see on your screen now we have Susie McEwen and Chris Field, our business development executives, and also joining us is Laura Rogers, who is our recruitment specialist for apprenticeships. So thank you to those. I'd also like to thank our employers that are joining us today, and also to our apprentices for sharing their feedback today and their experiences and journeys with us. What you'll also see, and hopefully the questions and answers are open, so you should see a little chat box on your screen in front of you. So at any time that you actually want to ask a question during the webinar, this is completely confidential to you, but you can actually have those questions answered by my colleague Laura and Amanda that are supporting also today's live event. So I'm now going to hand over to Chris Field, who's going to get us started. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Becky. Good afternoon to everybody and a warm welcome. So the purpose of the webinar this afternoon is to really engage with you about apprenticeships and what Telford College can offer you and give you a bit more information about what potentially you'll have to put in place and what you need to be doing. So we'll run through what is an apprenticeship, the benefits, the different types of apprenticeships that we offer, who we work with and the expectations of ourselves for all of our students and apprentices, but also the employers. We'll meet a few employers, as Becky mentioned, some of the current companies that we work with, and give you some recruitment tips, some progressions and benefits that happen within those companies and employers as well. We'll meet some apprentices, some people who are working towards their qualifications at the moment, and find out a little bit more about their journeys, the day in the life of that apprentice. And we'll also touch on the 20% off the job training, which is important within an apprenticeship. At the end, we'll start to look at what do you need to do next, and we've got various options for you to get through to. Some of the team talk to us Tuesdays, some CV and application help, and we'll also give a little bit of in-depth about the interview process and the talent pool that we'll work with. Again, just reiterating what Becky mentioned, if you've got any questions throughout, please find the text box to pop some questions in, and Amanda and Laura will answer those as we go along. So what is an apprenticeship? Hopefully you'll know a little bit about apprenticeships and you've got a bit of an intrigue, and that's what's brought you here today. But I'll just take you through a little bit more of the general information that you will need to know. So generally, it's a working job full-time whilst gaining a qualification and ultimately getting paid to do that as well. You'll work anywhere in between sort of 30-40 hours a week, and obviously you're supported through senior members of staff at that employers and mentor that's put in place, and you'll have tutors and training partners at Telford College who will guide you through the qualification and obviously relate that to how it fits in with your job role. Importantly, it's a career path. It's a career path that you can get on. If you look at the statistics over on the left-hand side, 90% of people stay in employment after completion, 33% gaining a promotion within 12 months. So it really is not just looking at the initial apprenticeship, it's definitely looking at above and beyond where you want to go in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and sort of mapping a route to get there really. And you can see there 51% of apprentices reach a form of management approximately 5 years of completion. So again, it's if you want to start really climbing up that ladder on a career, it's a fantastic way to start that. You'll gain transferable skills. So again, a lot of people look at the apprenticeships as the actual job specific roles. There's lots of things that you can transfer from career, from job to job as you push forward and develop. So it really will give you that foundation to get transferable skills, communication, being organised, even things like your punctuality, absolutely integral for you to learn those skills as well. You'll get hands-on experience. Again, I can't reiterate that enough, and it's a conversation I have with people coming through all the time, really. People see jobs and they see 1 year experience minimum, 2 years experience minimum, and they feel a bit stuck because they cannot get onto what they want to be doing. So an apprenticeship's a really, really good way to get that foot on the ladder and really to sort of start to learn, and then you will have that experience as well as a qualification that will really, really back you up as well. And that's again sort of leading on to the next point, getting on that job ladder and supercharging your career, building that experience as well as qualifications to really supercharge you. Mentioned 20% off the job training already. Ultimately, throughout the apprenticeship and throughout qualifications, we really want to make sure that you're learning new skills. So my colleague Susie's going to touch upon that later in the webinar, but we really, really want to make sure that you're learning new skills, having new experiences, and ultimately developing as a person. Breaking a little bit of a myth that's all still out there. You're treated like a normal member of staff. The myth is that that person is sort of at the bottom making the cups of tea. Not the case whatsoever. You're treated exactly like a normal member of staff within that business. You have a contract of employment, you have holiday leave and entitlements. So it's exactly the same rights and responsibilities as any other employee within the business throughout. Looking at the expectations that we set as a college and also employers will set, we have high expectations for our students and our apprentices. We want to make sure that people are achieving the best. When we start to look at grades, important, and I can't stress this enough, that you try as much as possible to get those English and maths core skills at a grade 4 or above. Obviously, at this time, probably slightly different than most years. You might have your grades through the predicted side of things, so you'll sort of know where you're at the moment. If you've achieved those, absolutely fantastic. If you're slightly less, we can support you. So come and have a conversation with us, find out a little bit more about that. And it'll be functional skills, maths and English alongside your qualification, your apprenticeship, to push you up to those equivalents of a 4. And if you're quite low on English and maths, if you have struggled with those at school, again, come and have a conversation, because we can look at those core subjects before we put you onto an apprenticeship, because you've got to have those core subjects to complete some of the work. So we want to get you there first. We don't want to set you up to fail. We want to make sure you're set up to be successful. When we're looking about work ethic, again, it's important from a college perspective and the apprenticeship work that you'll work through. Important from an employer's perspective as well, to make sure that you're in there, your attitude's fantastic, you're working hard, and you are giving it your all to develop. And that's where employers, even when skills and experience is slightly lacking because of your age and experience, that work ethic is so important to to get that experience and those skills as quick as possible, and to build. Work experience, volunteering, anything like Duke of Edinburgh achievements, really important to talk to us about, to talk to your employers about, because that's a big sign of how ambitious, how driven you are. And ultimately, if you're starting something and you're looking to achieve something, how determined you are to do that. And that really sort of goes down to commitment as well. When you're thinking about an apprenticeship, there's all sorts of different types, and that obviously then affects the duration of apprenticeships. Anything from 12 months to, we run engineering apprenticeships over 4 years. And you've really got to think about that commitment, you know, for that duration of time. You know, it's not sort of a couple of months, I'll try this, I'll give this a go. You've got to make sure, even when those times may be challenging and there's things that you're not used to, you've got that commitment to see it through and ultimately start to get where you want to be. We want people to be proactive. Again, really important initially from the outset to be proactive with the Telford College apprenticeship team. Talk to us about what you want to be doing, what you want to be achieving, and that's where we can use our expertise to get you in the right company to make a positive impact there. And ultimately, again, throughout the apprenticeship, being proactive, absolutely, you know, vital really. If you're sitting there doing the work you're doing and that's about it, then you're going to develop, but it's going to be slower. What we want to see is people being proactive, asking to learn new things, throwing themselves into things that they've never done before and may find a little bit uncomfortable and challenging. But those people who consistently push themselves, they'll be the apprentices that take on more responsibilities, and eventually you'll be the ones gaining promotions and developing your career faster and getting to where you want to be. Backup plans, again, really, really good advice that we always give. Make sure you've got a backup plan. If an apprenticeship is plan A, brilliant, and we'll work with you to be successful in that. But have that plan B, have that plan C. Start to look at the college courses at Telford College that can get you, you know, that extra little bit of knowledge, that extra little bit of experience. And if all things fall over with the apprenticeship side of things, or we don't quite get one as soon as you want to in September, then you've got something to back you up and you've got something, again, positive to push forward for. Ultimately, if it comes September, October, and you've started a college course, we can still transfer you to an apprenticeship. So again, it's just that communication, working with you and managing that expectations. And hopefully by joining the webinar today, we're in April and we've got lots of time to find you that apprenticeship. But absolutely make sure you have that backup plan in place. Hope that gives you a good idea of anything that you need to get into place or you need to speak to us about, or if that's raised any questions. And don't forget, again, use that question and answer box if you want Laura and Amanda to get back to you quickly. I'm going to introduce you to one of my colleagues now, Susie, who's going to take you through the types of apprenticeships that Telford College offer, and she'll also allow you to meet some employers and apprentices that we work with at the moment.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Chris. Like Chris said, I really do hope that that's giving you some form of idea and what the foundations need to be put in place to get your journey onto the apprenticeship programme started. So let's have a little look then at the different delivery types of apprenticeships that we offer. Now, what you'll see here in front of you now is only a snippet of the different areas that you can go into for the most popular apprenticeships that we do have. It's not an exhaustive list, there are others. Some of you may be thinking about some of these areas already. It might be where you see your future career going to. The way these are delivered can be very different depending on the area of study. So we do have the one area which involves a college day release. So this will mean that you would spend, let's say, for instance, with an accounting apprenticeship, 4 days a week in the working environment, being an employee in that environment, doing everything regarding what your job description would entail, like every other employee within that business. And then 1 day a week, you would be spending that day at Telford College studying in that study setting with your lecturer and with other apprentices within different businesses as well. So that's one way of looking at it. Dependent on the area, which you can see there, anything from engineering, which Chris has mentioned already is a 4-year course. The amount of days spent does vary over each year. So it could be that it's 1 day a week, it could be that it's 2 days a week. And this is where we would, on that one-to-one basis with you, when we're looking at the areas that you're interested in and where your skills and hobbies and your future careers are heading, we'll be able to tell you in far more detail what your makeup for that would necessarily be. The other side and the other options with the other side of the screen of the workplace setting these are delivered completely within the working environment. So you'd spend your 5 days a week in the workplace, and what we do is you wouldn't be taking a day at college at all. We would be spending more time with you, shadowing you and coming out into that work environment with you. You'd have an online platforms that you'd work with, and everything is done within that working environment. So you don't need to attend college for any of these areas. So things like early years educator, which is in the nursery setting, so from like 0 to 5 years old, you'd be in the nursery, and it's important that we are there to see you in that environment. And there's not extra things we need to teach you in the college. It's all done within your working environment there. So things like customer service as well, business administration. The one thing that's similar about both of these routes is you would still have a training partner. So we have our qualified training partners who are specialist experts in each of the areas they are delivering. They will be the ones that will be partnered with you going forward. So even if you come to college for a college day release, you still would have visits out from your training partner into your workplace, because there'd still be an element of things we'd need to see and shadow you with, and one-to-one discussions that they do, or whatever other way it might be. But it might be that it's less time spent in the workplace, because you do spend that 1 day a week with your college day as well. With the workplace settings, that's more in the working environment, so we've been needing to come and see you more often. There'll be more frequent visits in that case. Both of the avenues as well do require you to have a workplace mentor. So that mentor will be somebody within your working environment, whether that's a senior person to yourself, somebody who's previously been the apprentice. We find is usually a top one to be your workplace mentor, and they will be as hands-on with you as is necessary, dependent on what your learning requirements are and what area of study it is that you're learning as well. So those are the same for both ways of learning, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. This is what equates to, as Chris mentioned, the all-important 20% off the job element. So if you're coming to college for a day release, that is classed towards your 20% off the job. If you're spending time within the workplace with your mentor and our training partners are visiting you there, it's important that there are certain things that we are doing with you to still equate to that off the job learning element. So it's not that you need to spend a day out of the working environment, you'd be there, but things that you wouldn't do as part of your normal day-to-day job. So like events, team building exercises, maybe you're shadowing people, things like that. But that's what would equate to your 20% off the job element as well. So hopefully that's given you a bit more insight into the way an apprenticeship is delivered. Let's look now at the employers who we at Telford College are actually currently working with. So you can see here some massive names. I always feel very fortunate being from the West Midlands and from the Telford area that we have 3 huge industrial estates here, Stafford Park, Horton Wood, Halesfield, the birthplace of industry, and how proud are we to have some of these companies born and bred right on our doorstep. And these are the people that you could very much be working for. You probably do know some of these names, the likes of Muller, who doesn't know a good old Muller yogurt, Lyrico, UK-based stationery supplies and office work, the Wrekin Housing Trust, MCPHILLIPS, Schneider Electric. You can see this is not, again, an exhaustive list. We couldn't even fit all the employers we work with on this screen. We actually work with over 400 plus employers, and we deliver the apprenticeship programme with them, bearing down on their needs and what our apprentices needs as well. And currently we do have live vacancies. It's not something that you have to wait, every September for an apprenticeship programme to take place. It's a rolling programme, so it happens all the time. We're constantly filling vacancies, and we're constantly looking to put people on that talent pool. Even if there isn't a live vacancy, we work very much with an employer who are looking for talented individuals, and we've got such good relationships with these employers that from our word and from our specifications of what we know they need, If we meet that person that we know is absolutely the ideal candidate for them, we would send them over to them as well. So we're very much working on behalf of putting the right people in the right place and making that good match for your future. What we are going to do now then is we're actually so fortunate to have some of our top employers here to introduce to you today. So we're actually going to hear from 3 different employers, and they all take apprentices from us. So we want you to listen very carefully and see if they can answer some more of your questions and help you understand what the opportunities are out there. So listen out for the things like interview tips, how they value their apprenticeships, and what opportunities and progression is available. The first person I'd like to introduce you to then is Craig Hyde, and Craig is from Schneider Electric, and he has presented a video for you today. So let's meet Craig.
Hello, my name is Craig Hyde, and I'm the Customer Satisfaction and Quality Manager at Schneider Electric in Telford. I'm also responsible for our apprentices at our Telford plant. Apprenticeships offer a valid alternative to university with the qualifications to match. An apprenticeship is a job with substantial training and development of transferable skills as a way to earn and learn, getting a real qualification, long-term career path, and the possibility for higher earnings. The number of apprentices Schneider Electric recruit every year varies. For instance, last year we took on 5 apprentices. Apprentices get a great deal of experience whilst working for an engineering company. They'd spend time in varying different departments around the company, ranging from technical support to HR, to our call centre, or to working on the shop floor building electrical distribution panels. Apprentices within the business have gone on to become product application engineers, working in our technical support teams, tendering teams, but also out on the road meeting customers as sales engineers. Apprentices are an important part of the team. They get to meet so many people throughout their 3-year tenure. They understand the business really well. The great thing about being an apprentice is that you're getting paid to get work experience and to study towards a recognised qualification.
How amazing is it to hear live there from Craig Hyde at Schneider Electric, and we are, so grateful for him, and thank you, huge thank you there to Craig, and to find out how valuable the apprenticeship programme is to them as a company, such a big company like Schneider too, which is just incredible. Maybe that's where you see your future, who knows. We're going to now introduce you to 2 more of our employers, but before we do go ahead with their videos, I just want to say keep the questions coming in. We've had a lot of queries so far, and it's it seems like it's really invaluable to people, the kind of things that we're covering on here. But any question that you have, it pops into your head, please do post that on the Q&As, and our team, Amanda and Laura, are busy answering away with those. We're going to meet now 2 more of our employees. These videos are back to back, so I'll introduce them both at the beginning at the same time. The first one is Sophie Yates from FODENS Solicitors. So maybe this is an area that you've been thinking about. So again, listen closely to what they've got to say, see if they answer those queries. And then the second video, it's going to go straight into it following Sophie, is you're going to be meeting Stuart Bishop from MCPHILLIPS as well. So again, let's get the vital information from Sophie and Stuart. Thank you.
Hi there, Sophie here, as Director with FODENS Solicitors in Telford. I've been asked to talk to you about the role of apprentices in our business and how important the apprenticeship scheme is to us as a practice. We currently have 1 apprentice employed by us full-time who is conducting business NVQ. We have really proud to say that we have a wonderful success rate of our business apprentices who are still retained within the business. Those apprentices have gone on now to start further legal careers insofar as they are taking on secretarial or paralegal roles within the practice, which means that they are dealing firsthand with clients, they're dealing with administrative tasks on files, they are progressing matters through our case management system and supporting the solicitors and lawyers within the practice on a day-to-day basis. What's more is that those apprentices have developed to a position where we are supporting them through their legal qualifications, which is a great opportunity for them and also for us as a practice. I think what's commonly overlooked with apprentices is the rejuvenation that they can bring to other members of the team. We have huge amounts to learn from our apprentices. They are enthusiastic, they are always willing to try and solve a particular problem, will always go over and above to do what they can to achieve what's right for a client and for the practice. So we're really blessed with that. Both myself and my co-director, Kelly Davis, are huge advocates for the apprenticeship route. We both started our careers out working as administrators in legal practices and developing our skill set over time. We were able to be hands-on from day one, client-facing from day one, and the skills that we were taught from a very early age with our apprenticeships have only gone on to provide to the positions that we're both in now. So there is no ceiling as an apprentice, and I would encourage anybody that I speak to think about apprenticeships as a route for themselves, for their children, for their partners, for their parents, siblings, it doesn't matter. Really do think about apprenticeships. It's a brilliant way to earn and learn at the same time, and find that your career can be extremely rewarding and that the benefits pay off from an early start. So good luck and get on with that apprenticeship application.
Hi, my name is Stuart Bishop. I'm the SCHNEIDER manager for MCPHILLIPS Wellington Limited. MCPHILLIPS are a company established in 1964, civil engineering and building. I'd like to think that we develop apprentices quite well. We have won an award, the Shropshire Chamber of Commerce Award for Apprentice Management in 2019. We take on about 9 apprentices every September, normally interviewing in May, June, and then starting in September. It's a 2-year apprenticeship, NVQ level 2, in association with Telford College and the CITB, learning all kinds of skills from excavation, backfilling, lane pipes, all kinds of technical stuff. Following the apprenticeship, there's all kinds of opportunities to further the career. We don't lay the apprentice off after 2 years, to stay here hopefully for many years. We currently have around 75 people here who've done an apprenticeship at MCPHILLIPS and have now gone on to drive machines, lorries, become engineers, 1 contracts manager, 2 site managers. So I'd like to think we give everyone a really good opportunity. Normally we take on young men. There's no reason why it couldn't be young women. We start them at 16 to 19. They operate from our yard here at Horton Wood and then work within a gang at a variety of sites across the country. Really good place to work, really good staff retention levels, really enjoyable, good people. How to become an apprentice? Apply on the website, speak to Telford College, look on our website and you'll see exactly what we do. Skills wise, we want somebody that's keen, active, and it's preferable if local, because we would normally pick up the individual from home or the end of the street. That's it. Any problems, mcphillips.co.uk, My name is Stu Bishop. Thank you.
So just hearing from those three employers there, I mean, you can see they've answered a lot of questions that probably some of you have got already. They are big names, and they're providing our apprentices with big opportunities too. You know, I've already said we've got live vacancies. We've got them with, you know, Schneider, MCPHILLIPS at this moment in time. They are, you know, already recruiting and taking people on right now. I love what Sophie said as well in that one from FODENS. With an apprenticeship, there really is no ceiling to what you can achieve. And you know, you can see from the recap there just a few of the things, just from those three companies, 15 vacancies available. With over 400 employees that we do work with from all different sizes, micro, small to medium, and the larger corporations, there really is a program out there for everybody. And what our role is to match you in the right environment. Some people might not feel comfortable in the bigger corporations. Some people might want the quieter office type business, but the point is that you are a valuable member to whatever business you're working in, and we help you match you to the right role. And what we're going to do now then to help you understand that all a little bit more as well is actually meet the apprentices. So very similar thing, but we've seen it from the employer perspective. Now let's see it from the apprentices perspective. So we're going to try and hopefully answer some of these questions for you with their videos. And the first person I would like to introduce you to is actually from Schneider Electric. And then we're going to be meeting two of our own apprentices as well following that from Telford College. So let's meet now with Aaron from Schneider.
Hello, my name is Aaron Jenner. I'm an electrical engineering apprentice. I'm currently on my second year of my 3-year apprenticeship studying at Telford College. Within the 2 years I've been at Schneider, I've moved through specific departments on a 6-month rotation. Each department plays a key role to my development and career with Schneider, collaborating with different teams and gaining experience whilst learning the essential knowledge to make me a well-rounded engineer. On the shop floor was a fantastic first-hand experience when manufacturing and testing our products. I gained the knowledge and experience working alongside test engineers and panel builders, dealing with essential building tools and electrical testing equipment. I also spent 6 months where I learned about the commercial process and pricing whilst sending out competitive quotes. However, I help with inquiries from both sales engineers and our customers. Part of my apprenticeship allows me to take a day release for college, where I study in depth to become an electrical engineer. Key subjects such as mechanical principles, electrical principles, CAD, health and safety, engineering communications, and higher maths all play a huge part to my career, in which I complete set assignments for specific deadlines. College was a great way to collaborate and gain relationships with other apprentices from different companies, sharing ideas and technical advice to get the task complete. The apprenticeship has helped me to develop into a professional team player with a willingness to learn with an enthusiastic attitude, committed and open to take on all new challenges and gain lifelong experiences and qualifications. To all new apprentices, be open-minded and have a positive approach to all new tasks and get involved. Collaboration is key. Thank you.
So wonderful there to meet Aaron and him to share his experience so far with us. So let's move on to our next two apprentices, and I feel really proud to introduce these two ladies to you. We are big advocates of the apprenticeship programme, and as a college we do take in our own apprenticeships in all our departments as well. These are two of our ladies who work with us in our department, so Louisa and Rachel, and they're going to share their journeys with you now too.
Hello
Hello, I'm Louisa and I work at Telford College. I'm doing a Business Administration Level 2 apprenticeship, which I started in July. Before I started my apprenticeship, I was working in hospitality after my A-levels, as I decided that university wasn't the right route for me. And that's when I started applying for apprenticeships, because I was ready for my next steps and to start my own career path. In my apprenticeship, I support the team by providing administrative support, kind of help them with their daily tasks and things like that. And I also go to a lot of events at local schools to be able to help promote apprenticeships. I've learned a lot of skills during my apprenticeship, such as teamwork, communication, organisation, and so many more. And I would say to anyone considering doing an apprenticeship to go for it, because it's the best way to kickstart your career. So fire up your apprenticeship today with Telford College.
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel and I'm an apprentice. Where do you work? I work as a senior administrator within Telford College, within the Ambition Centre, as part of the apprenticeship team. What did you do before your apprenticeship? Before I started my apprenticeship, I was a full-time mum. I did various jobs such as cleaning, right through to being a dinner lady in the school kitchen. What apprenticeship did you do first? My very first apprenticeship was my MVQ level 2, which I completed as soon as I left school. My life then took a different path, and I have since gone back to complete both my level 3 and my level 4 within the business administration role. How long have you worked at Telford College and what has your journey been? I've been at Telford College for approximately 2.5 years now. I started there as a receptionist within a high needs department. When I completed my level 3, I then got the opportunity to progress on to my level 4, as well as securing a full-time job in a different department. What are your long-term goals and progress now with Telford College? When I first joined Telford College, I thought I would complete my level 3 and obviously progress on to my higher levels if the opportunity arose. Thankfully that did, and I've now completed my level 4 and soon to be completing my level 5 in managerial, and the long-term goal would be secure a higher position. What has a proud moment been in your apprenticeship journey? There's been lots of proud moments within my journey and my time at Telford College. The most recent being I was given the opportunity to help lead with the National Apprenticeship Show that was held at Telford International Centre. It was fantastic to work with other departments, and after all the months of planning, see it all come together, and then obviously to meet lots of different faces, lots of different age range as possible apprentices. They were all keen to learn, and I loved to tell my story and how I've got to where I am now. Would you recommend an apprenticeship and why? I would definitely recommend an apprenticeship. It's a great way to gain experience, a qualification and a wage at the same time, as well as gain invaluable knowledge of the working environment. I've got children myself, my eldest, I've already said, you don't have to go to university. There's lots of other ways that you can get to the place that you would like to be within your career path. Fire up your apprenticeship with Telford College today.
So some really inspirational advice there from the guys that we've just met, and I think you can see that each one of them have had their own individual journey through their programme and for whatever business they're working with as well. And I don't know if many people know this. I know that from a lot of the people I speak to myself, they think maybe there's only one level to an apprenticeship and that's it. It's not. It's a progression programme. The door opens right from level 2 all the way up, as we just heard from Rachel there. I mean, how amazing. She started as an apprentice at level 2, and now she's about to become a level 5 apprentice, going into that managerial role as well, which is just incredible. That there is where you can go with it. It goes right through up to that kind of HNC, HND, the higher level foundation degrees, right up to level 7s you can go with an apprenticeship. Maybe you thought the only way to get that before was to go to university, and actually that makes you a bit fearful because maybe uni isn't the route you want to do, but it doesn't mean you don't want the qualifications. It doesn't mean you don't want to have that top class education. Now, this is telling you you can. You absolutely can. And what we're going to do as a college and with our team is we're going to work with you to put you in that right environment so that you thrive as an individual and that you get those opportunities the same as absolutely anybody else would have as well. Again, just to mention now, I know we've got a lot of people, kind of school college leavers listening in today, but there is no upper age limit on an apprenticeship. Absolutely not. There used to be 24. Now there is not. You could be 100 years old and you could want to go on to an apprenticeship program, and perhaps not, but you might want to. And it's just making you very, very aware that, you know, spread the word. Friends, family, parents, carers, teachers, whoever it might be out there. It might be you're looking for a career change. It might be you want to do something a little bit different. It might be you're taking that first step. Just think about the route. Keep the questions coming, guys. I can see there's been a lot of questions already. Absolutely amazing to be hearing from you all. So keep the questions coming. Laura and Amanda, I can see, are very, very busy trying to answer away with those as well for you. And what we are going to do now is I'm going to be handing you back to my very good colleague, Chris. I'm sure he's still here with us now. And Chris is actually going to touch on the most common question and answers and the FAQs that we have. Thanks, Chris.
Brilliant. Thank you, Susie. Yeah, there's been lots of questions. They're absolutely inundated with them. So keep firing them in. We just wanted to look through just some of the frequently asked questions, really, just some of the things that we talk to people day in, day out normally, and just give a little bit of advice there. So starting with how long will my application take? The application's so simple. Get in touch with the apprenticeship team, which Laura will give you a few details to later, and we'll send you an application form. We'll also get a copy of your CV and book you in for a video interview at this time. Obviously, you know, regular things will be sort of more face-to-face interviews at the college. And that's really, like Susie sort of touched upon, we really want to make sure that this experience is individual to you. It's so important that we match you with the right companies, and that's where it's really, really important to make sure that you are, you know, we speak to you and we get to know you and what you want. So really easy application process. How many interviews will I have? That could be one. You could be successful on the first one. We've had people who've come in to interview, and they've interviewed then a company and an employer, and they've been offered a start date within a week, and they sort of can't catch their breath about how quickly the process can take. Other people, because they are very, very competitive, you know, we might send 2, 3, 4 people to interview. They might get pipped at the post, so it might take a few, but we'll continuously look to support you and get feedback from those employers and really make sure we work with you about how to impress employers, what sort of things to talk about and mention, and what experiences to draw upon. So we'll support you with that, but ultimately, if you're proactive and you communicate with us, it doesn't matter how many interviews you'll have, we'll get there and we'll make sure you're successful. Can I find my own employer? Absolutely. There's so many people who have, you know, family businesses, you know, friends of family, they have businesses. And just going back to the last point, really, they're so competitive that you might be against 2 or 3 people for an apprenticeship that we put you forward for. If you've got your own contacts, brilliant, because it probably, or it may be just you that's in the, you know, in the frame for that apprenticeship. So it's really good, and it might be something that a family member or a family friend, they've never thought about, but they're willing to give you a chance. So absolutely, if you can be proactive on that side, be doing it. If you don't get the grades, again, we touched upon this earlier in the presentation, we want to stress it's important to get those 4s, but we will work with you, and that's again where come through to us, come and have a chat, come and speak to us, and it's where we'll give you the right advice and the right guidance. You can still do an apprenticeship. We'll support you with those functional skills, maths and English along the way, and give you the right support and push you in the right directions. So come through to us and talk to us. Don't be scared that academic side of things isn't quite, you know, what you've been great at in the past, we're there. If you're not sure about what apprenticeship to do or what qualification to do within your apprenticeship, again, come and talk to us. This is exactly where we want to know, you know, what you're passionate about, what drives you, what you want to end up doing as a career. And then we can give you the you know, again, the right advice. We can send your CV to the right employers where we think you'll be fantastically matched. Susie briefly mentioned it again about having relationships with employers. Sometimes people come through and we just instantly know they'd be great at a company we've previously worked with, and we can approach them. So if you're not sure about what to do on an apprenticeship, again, don't worry. Come and have a chat to us, come and communicate with us, and we can go guide you from there. And should I have a backup? Again, absolutely. You know, they are highly competitive apprenticeships. They are, you know, sought after, and there's some really talented young people in Telford. But look at those backup options as well. Look at the Telford College courses that are starting in September, a more traditional college route. Have a look at them, see what sort of intrigues you. And if that's a plan B or a plan C, brilliant. You've got something positive to fall back on that's going to develop you and going to make an impact in your life. If we get you an apprenticeship and we work with you to be successful within an apprenticeship before that, fantastic. So yeah, have that backup plan in place. Okay. I'm going to pass you over to Laura now. You might hear her voice quite a lot in the process of your application. So I'm just going to give her a little bit of time to guide you through the next steps of pushing your applications forward.
Thanks, Chris and Suze. Hopefully you've gained some valuable information today off both of them and can see the amazing future potential of doing an apprenticeship with Telford College. So now you've heard everything, you'll hopefully still be thinking, yes, an apprenticeship is for me, this sounds amazing. So I just want to go through what your next steps are. So we're just saying to research, I know Chris just touched on it now, try and do a bit of research into what there is out there and what you can do. National Apprenticeship is a really good website to have a little look at what courses there are. We can send you all the list of what we do as well and kind of match that up. On the National Apprenticeship, you can also search for live vacancies. Sometimes recommend just putting a 300-mile radius in and just business admin, childcare. Then you can kind of get an idea of what you'd like to do, what course. So to apply, we've got an email here. You just need to email apprentices@telfordcollege.ac.uk and we'll send you an application pack. You need to fill out your application and send us a CV. Once we've received those from you, we then have a video interview from one of our team. So we want you to dress smart. This is going to be formal, going to be proper, all run through. So you can shine, talk about things you've done, work experience, your grades, everything like that. If the video interview is successful, you'll then join our talent pool. Our talent pool is a selection of the best candidates who can come through. We then spec you out to those incoming vacancies and work closely with the company to offer an apprenticeship in that area to make sure we can find you a job. So we have created a little event called Talk to Us Tuesday for you. As we've gone through our webinar, you might be a bit confused about something, need a bit of help with guidance, be a bit worried about your application or your interview. So the idea of our Talk to Us Tuesday is to register a slot on my email there, laura.rogers@telfordcollege.ac.uk. We can help you with all of those questions you've been quite silly. You can send us a CV, we can have a look at it, feedback. We can check your application through with you again, give feedback. It's designed for students, parents, teachers, anybody can start on more information. So if you have got any questions or queries today, the next steps, just pop us an email. So that is the end of our first webinar. I hope you found it really useful. Questions open your eyes up to apprenticeships.
Laura, I'm just going to jump in just a minute there, sweetie. Just so sorry. The information Laura's trying to deliver to you guys at this point is so vital. But as you can see, you know, we're all in this together at this moment in time, and we're working through the technology. And you know, the sound just isn't the best, and we just don't want you to miss any of that vital information we were just saying. So just to do a very quick recap there, we can just flip back just slightly. So you know, like Laura was saying, definitely we hope this apprenticeship route is where you're still heading at. If you've still got a few queries, contact us. That's all you got to do. Make that connection and we'll take you through the next steps. Create your CV if you've not yet got one. We'll arrange a video interview with you at that point then going forward. It's a very formal kind of interview because we want to set you up with what the expectations are, but we'll coach you, we'll guide you. You know, the aim is to get the best out of you and each individual person. If the process all goes successful for you and it's still a yes from you and an absolute yes from us, at that point then you guys will be joining our all important talent pool of people, and that talent pool then is what we will work from with our employers to get you onto your successful career route. Jumping next to the Talk to Us Tuesdays. Now, these are fantastic opportunity with these to book a slot. We'll have a first initial conversation. It might be that you're not still quite sure, so you just want that more individual advice, more tailor-made advice. Absolutely fine. Book a slot on this. Talk to Us Tuesdays. Email Laura at laura.rogers@telfordcollege.ac.uk. We can talk to you about the progression, what the apprenticeships are in more detail, but specifically for that individuality purpose, about you, your application, what your hobbies were. This might be suitable for people who, do you know what, I know I kind of want an apprenticeship, I just don't know which one I want. That's fine. Come and talk to us on Tuesday and we'll help you along the way. So then, you know, moving on, just again, huge thank you to all our employers that have took part today. So Craig Hyde from Schneider Electric, Sophie Yates from FODENS Solicitors, and Stuart Bishop from MCPHILLIPS as well. Again, our apprentices that you've heard from, I hope you found this really valuable today. Aaron from Schneider Electric and our very own, so proud to say, Louisa and Rachel from Telford College. Every single person who's tapped in today, everybody who's interacted with us with the question and answers, I hope you found it valuable. Please do give us your feedback. This was our first one. You know, we want to learn, we want to improve, we want to grow. That's all what it's about. So please do send us your feedback and your hints and your tips, or anything you'd like to see, for instance, going forward. We've got our next one planned in place, so jot this date and time down if you want to attend. 5th of May, 1:30 p.m, we're going to be doing another webinar based all around more of a CV workshop. So building your CV, CV's do's and don'ts, and interview tips and things as well. If there's anything more you want to see or hear, then please you know, get in touch, let us know what that is. But most importantly, every single person out there, stay safe, stay well, and we will very much look forward to seeing and speaking to you all very soon. Thank you so much for your time today. Thanks.